I would break the skill sets into two parts. One is the functional skill sets, if he is a functional expert or he's looking after certain functions or a specialist. I think he has to be a thought leader in that. He should be a specialist in that, and there is to be continuous search at his end in terms of being the best in class in that area. I think more importantly, the behavioral skill set, which is his leadership style, how is he interacting with human beings at a peer level, how is he interacting with the outside world as well as with superiors, his overall style of communication. I think that also plays a very, very important role. And he doesn't have to know everything in the world because the world is very complex. So many a times a young leader may not know something on a subject, but if he is able to leverage the strength of his own group and gets the best out of his group, then the answer he would get through that process of, you may call it facilitative leadership, you may call it participative leadership, will be far better. So it's very important to work in a group, be interdependent rather than saying that I'm independent, I know everything. As I said earlier, there are functional skills which are almost like hygiene factors. But more importantly, we need to look at the individual in terms of his behavioral skills. So how is that person fitting into our culture? For example, we have a culture which is open, which is participative, which is empowered. So a person would want to, who we would interview, we would want him to be open and also participative and should be able to work independently on his own. And finally, I think if we have to grow, we have in an empowered organization, risk-taking is important. There is a certain aversion to risk-taking at a young age because there is a fear that if that risk doesn't work out, then it'll be a negative on my biodata. So I think we need to take individuals who are willing to take that risk even at a young age. First of all, I would say that it is not based on, shall I say, qualifications. We've seen leaders, we've seen entrepreneurs who are not even graduates, I don't have to give examples, but there are many entrepreneurs. So I think the key thing is an individual, a burning desire to succeed, and backed up by a continuous search for achieving that. So there will be setbacks in your journey, but if there is risk taking, if there is continuous search at one's individual level, if one is leveraging on one's strengths, and I believe that each person is born with certain strengths, and you have to leverage your strengths rather than saying that these are my weaknesses and I need to work on my weaknesses. If you leverage on your strengths, if you are innovative, if you are continuously searching for results, and if you have a high goal, it is a matter of time you'll succeed. There will be setbacks, but you have to learn to deal with setbacks and actually look at it positively. So I'm sure that if youth takes this attitude, we will have many, many more young leaders who would actually fuel overall growth in the country.